hearing aids. Does this not equal earbuds?
This happened a few years ago, around the time I was 17. I had just started working at a smallish cafe run by a well-known family in our area. I knew some people who had worked there before, and they told me for the most part the owners were great, very chill and laid back when it was slow, and normally weren't bad about breathing down the employees' necks. Their oldest daughter, who also helped run everything, was the one who was very peculiar, and we'll call her Karen. I am officially diagnosed with a hearing deficiency, not enough to be considered deaf, but more than hard of hearing, so I wear hearing aids. My first day before we opened, my coworkers asked me if they could do anything else to help me out, and we eventually started talking about the hearing aids in general. While talking about everything, I mentioned they had Bluetooth capabilities so I could play music through them. Not that I would, but I could. Karen had been in the room at the time, and said, "You can't wear those, no earbud policy," and tapped on the policy's paper on the wall. I protested, explaining they're hearing aids and not earbuds, and that I wouldn't be using them to listen to any music while I was working. Her reasoning was I didn't need them because I wasn't considered fully deaf, and I was doing this to get around the no earbud policy, directly quoting when I said they could play music. "I can't wear them? Okay, let's see how this goes." Placed them into the case in my bag and started my shift. I couldn't understand my trainer, couldn't hear the customers, couldn't hear when orders were called to be sent out. Things were going extremely slow, a couple of warmed pastries burnt since I wasn't able to hear the timers. Simple sentences had to be repeated multiple times, with people basically yelling at me just for me to be able to piece a few words together. I guess the cherry on top was me ignoring one of the owners when she tried speaking to me. Karen came up to me and tried addressing me about it, until she finally realized what was going on after she had repeated herself 5 times. By the end of that shift, I was allowed to wear my hearing aids, no questions asked.
I think there's a lack of understanding around what it means to be hard of hearing or deaf. My mom is deaf but wears cochlear implants to hear. I think it can be hard for her because people don't know right away that she's using a hearing aid, the cochlear implants, so they don't give her the benefit of the doubt when she has trouble understanding them. https://www.washington.edu/dwa/how are terms deaf and hard hearing and hearing impaired typically used?
That's why I never tell anyone I work with that my hearing aids have Bluetooth. Only my husband and parents know. It's like a fun secret only we know.
This makes me deliciously happy. Even if I'm sorry you had to deal with that woman. Being unable to hear complaints after being told you don't need to be able to hear is just such an obvious blunder by Karen here. And you got to rub it in their face without even having to try LMAO. Should have told customers, "I'm sorry. I can't hear you because my trainer has forbidden me from wearing my hearing aids at work." Let the customers complain to the manager. Disability discrimination. Not sure where in the world you are, but in many places this would very much be against the law. As someone who also is hard of hearing and wears hearing aids, working in a restaurant sounds like hell. Too much noise combined with overlapping conversations. Don't you just love people who cut off their nose to spite their face? Face with rolling eyes. Thankfully she wisened up after the first shift and let you use your hearing aids afterwards. Literally the same exact thing happened to me. I worked for a summer camp that didn't allow counselors to hang onto their phones during the week. My hearing aids connected to my phone so I can adjust the different settings and crap. So I got permission from the camp director to keep my phone during the week. The counselor lead, however, went on a power trip and told me that I had to turn my phone in. I cited the ADA codes but he wouldn't budge. I turned in my phone for the day. Then snuck into the main office and stole it back and went to the camp director and told him what happened. The guy got fired by the end of the summer. He was pretty incompetent.
If you were totally deaf, hearing aids would be worthless to you. Plus this is a massive ADA violation.
I worked at an airport where they would get you hearing aids if you needed them after 3 months' work. I got the Bluetooth ones. Love 'em. They take calls great. They let me listen to audiobooks and rock out. They would get mad BCI was night shift and pretty much did my own thing. You could see me rocking it down the concourse on the tapes. But Ada and all that. They would try and yell at me saying no earbuds. I'd say they were ha. Then they tried to single me out and say no phones. But just for me. Then when I pointed out my stuff was way better than others and said I would just leave and take my $3,000 toys with me. Stupid expensive but not my money lol. HR got mad and told them to leave me alone. They had invested too much in me for me to leave after 4 months lol. My wife has a similar issue and was prescribed hearing aids. She got Bluetooth capable ones because they came with a remote mic she could give to her college professor during lectures and whatnot. I got a chuckle at Karen stating you're wearing what was in my wife's case $8,000 hearing aids just for the purpose of getting around the no earbuds policy. Glad you were able to take it in stride and hope the customers didn't give you any grief. Similar situation, but not hearing impaired. I had a job running a loud piece of machinery and got some noise-canceling headphones to filter out the roar of the machine, thus saving my hearing and making it easier to converse with coworkers. The headphones were capable of music or other input, but I never used them that way, only to filter noise. They helped me a lot, much quieter while using them. But my boss refused to let me wear them, just because there was a possibility of listening to music. Not uncoincidentally, I don't work there anymore. Very nice, I'm not the victim, you're your own victim, energy from you. Impressive feat at 17. My daughter has the same hearing loss and this is in direct violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Posts like this make my coffee taste sweeter in the morning. Cheers up. I would have been tempted to tell every single customer, I'm really sorry I'm having trouble hearing you. But my supervisor Karen said our no earbuds policy includes my hearing aids. Enjoy the customers reporting that. Karen. I'm going to violate the ADA because your assistive technology could hypothetically bring you enjoyment. Just because an item can function as something else doesn't mean it is that other item. My car can function as a paperweight. Doesn't mean I should park on my desk. God, this reminds me of what a co-worker did at my previous job. Was told not to use his hearing aids and was unable to hear much during his shift. Except the owners placed the blame on him being lazy and not listening. I had a similar experience. When I was in 6th grade, a substitute teacher basically forced me to take my earbuds out, so I couldn't hear her when she would ask me questions. She ended up giving me a detention for ignoring it, but the principal voided it when I explained.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.